What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with this week's MLB Power Rankings, Week 12. As always, hit that subscribe button down below. Get us to 500 subscribers, where we'll be doing that giveaway of an autographed item. So make sure you are subscribed to our channel. And let's dump into the video here. The hitters of the week, both coming from the Atlanta Braves. And Michael Harris, Eddie Rosario, two guys that, have been struggling early this year, but they really turned it on this week. Harris finally broke out of his slump, coming off of the IL. Had a big week, over 500 average, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Really just came out of nowhere against the Tigers. He had a big game. Then I think he had a big game in the last game on Sunday, where Eddie Rosario has been on a mashing tear. It seems like he does this at least once a year. He's hit a home run in 4 straight games, entering tonight, Monday's games. And, he had 5 home runs, 2 yesterday on Sunday, 11 total RBIs, and a 381 average with an on-base percentage of over 500. So these guys have been mashing, and that's a big reason why the Braves were so good last week. In the pitchers of the week, I have Zach Wheeler and Bryce Miller. Wheeler, 2 wins, 2 quality starts, less than 1 ERA, and had a very solid win on the road against the Diamondbacks. Where Bryce Miller, he had 2 great wins, 2 quality starts, and only gave up 5 hits in 13 innings pitched. So, he did have a few rocky starts there where he couldn't really figure it out, but last week he fixed something, and he is back on track to being, one of the candidates for a Rookie of the Year. And then we have the dogs of the week, and this week we have 2 teams that just absolutely balled out. The Reds and the Giants both went 6-0. Both had 2 series on the road, 2 3-game series, swept both of those against some decent teams. The Reds, had an easier schedule with the Royals and then had to go to Houston, but got the job done. Giants, easier road in St. Louis, got that win, and then go against a divisional opponent on the road, the Dodgers, and pass them in the division as well. Man, that's a good week for them. They scored 52 runs in 6 games. They're second in the NL West behind Arizona, and then the Reds are only a half game back in the NL Central, and they also get Joey Votto back tonight, which is, been the Reds Hall of Famer, is back in the lineup, first game tonight, which is great to see, and it's just going to make this team even better. And then you have the duds of the week with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 0-6, very bad week. Got swept in 3-game series on the road against Chicago and Milwaukee, 2 divisional opponents. You can't do that in your own division. Those teams just vaulted up in the division standings, and here the Pirates are moving down. And they scored 17 runs in 6 games, a little less than 3 runs a game. It's just tough. Everyone says every game matters, but these mean more, especially when it is a divisional game. But tonight they are debuting Henry Davis, their top prospect, the catcher they took just 2 years ago, and it'll be interesting to see how he will perform because the catching position for the Pirates has been a weak spot. And then we have the biggest movers this week. The Giants, Reds, and Phillies are trending upwards, where the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Brewers are all trending down. And, the Blue Jays and Yankees are 2 teams that you didn't think would be making this big of a jump down. I'll start here at 30 through 21. 30 through 28 staying the same. Those teams are pretty much going to find themselves down there for the whole year. The Nationals down 1, White Sox down 1. Just been a disappointment yet again for the White Sox. Cardinals are playing they are going to be the disappointment of the year. And the Mets might join them soon. The Mets are only 5 games out of 500, but this team just has looked atrocious these last few weeks. Getting Pete Alonso back is going to help them. But will it be too little too late? Because Verlander and Scherzer just haven't been themselves. And, they put a lot of money into that. But the Mets do have a second half season to turn it around. The Tigers, my Tigers, had a good week. It is a 4-3 week, but they did take 3 of 4 from Minnesota. And that's why they are moving up, because they did gain a few games back in that division race, as it's yet another big week for them. They have Kansas City at home tonight and Minnesota at home this weekend. So if you can go 4-2 in those 6 games, the Tigers might be moving up again. Whereas their other AL Central opponent, the Guardians, are moving down 2 spots after a 2-4 week. The AL Central, NL Central is probably going to be the most interesting races in both leagues this year, just because of how confusing, I think is the right word, of those divisions. And then speaking of the NL Central, the Cubs are moving up too after a 5-1 week last week. 20 through 11, I have the Pirates and Twins and Brewers, 18, 19, 20, all moving down after, some questionable weeks. The Pirates already talked about 0-6 week. Twins, you can't let the Tigers come in there and win 3 or 4 at home in divisional games when they need those wins. So that's why they're moving down a lot. Brewers, just disappointing week. 1 week they're 5-1, the next week they're 2-3, 2-4. The Mariners and Padres had great weeks at 4-2, where the Padres just keep playing 500 baseball, and one of these times I think they're really going to start to break out. They have all the talent to do so. It's just, can they be consistent enough to have a huge winning streak? The Reds, however, are on that huge winning streak, 7 in a row now. Ellie De La Cruz has been pivotal to their call-up, and as I said, Joey Votto gets back tonight. Just another bat to that great lineup, the young lineup. And these Reds, man, they look like they're ready to just take that NL Central by storm. If these Pirates keep faltering, then there's no reason for these Reds to just not take over. The Yankees and Blue Jays and the Red Sox, you have 3 AL Central teams right there in the thick of things, all very close to each other. With the Red Sox coming out on top with a 4-2 week, the Blue Jays struggled mightily. 2-4 week, it happens. It's baseball. But the Yankees just really didn't look like they wanted to play some baseball against the Red Sox. They looked lost in that series. The rain delay might have had a few effects on it, but the Red Sox came out and really took it to them. And then the Dodgers, 2-4 last week after getting swept against the Giants, are moving out of the top 10. And speaking of those Giants, they are at 10 after that big 6-0 week, sweeping the Dodgers and moving them here into the top 10. Then you have the Phillies and the Astros and the Angels and Marlins. Sorry, those logos are wrong. I did not change those. But you have the Astros moving down to 8 after 2-4 week. Angels up 4 after 5-2 week, which is great to see. A lot of the Shohei always going to get traded. Deadline rumors might start to swirl downward because of this Angels team playing so well. And then the Marlins still not getting enough credit, obviously, because I still didn't even put their logo there. That's my bad. The Marlins are just playing excellent baseball. If Sandy can turn it around somehow, some way in the second half of the season, then I don't know how the Marlins can be stopped. Other than the Atlanta Braves, they might be the only team that could stop them in the NL right now. Those Diamondbacks have been pesky and have been playing some good baseball, but they haven't been proven. Same with the Marlins. And I think the NL is probably the most up for grabs, even though I have the top 3 teams. Well, top 2 teams being from the AL with the Rays and Rangers. And yes, I forgot to change the other logos, so I'm in a rush here. Okay, I get it. And the Rays just have been at top the whole year. Rangers slowly right there. But, these 2 teams, it's going to be a race for the top spot in the AL, and I think it's going to be the Rays that just do it. It's the Rays' 1 seed to lose at this point in the season, being the first team to reach 50 games. But we will see next week where these teams rank. And that's going to be it for this week's video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.